Okay. Hey, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
Mm. Okay, there you are. And we are the CRM players with technical difficulties.
Right from the get go. An ominous foreboding of the show to come.
Verboding. Eee.
Foreboding. Not
Foreboding. Not
foreboding.
verboten.
No, not verboten. I'm not speaking German here.
Anyway, we are the CRM players, and we leave the German to Sven whenever
That's
he's
right.
on.
We leave all languages except English to Sven.
But this is our first watch party of the year, 2025. TDX here at in the Moscone Center for Salesforce TDX. Uh, it's all about agents. I know that much.
Yeah. And I'm not here. I'm not there. I'm
You're
here.
not there, but
No.
you're here.
Yes, I am. But I'm not there.
Actually, I'm there, but not there because I'm
That's
not
right.
in the Moscone. I'm in the Marriott, which is actually probably the best place to do this kind of thing.
Amen.
And we may have our buddy Mike Fawcett join. He sent me an email saying, "Are you going to do it in the Moscone?" I was like, "Nah, I'm already back at the room." So he's like, "Good idea." So I'm expecting he might be making the trek back to the Marriott to do this. So we'll bring him
Cool.
in whenever he comes.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Let's say this. Um, So Salesforce basically it seems like right now putting on around 3 conferences a year, right? So three major ones: TDX,
Well,
Connect, and
connections.
Dreamforce.
I think Tableau still does some event too.
Yeah. Okay. So let's even say four. We'll even add that in. I'm guessing all four of them will be about Agent Force,
Right.
one way or the other.
I think don't and they do those world tour stops too. I'm
Yep.
guessing
Oh no, they definitely do.
you're doing it's agent force in every language known to mankind.
That's exactly right. Agent Force. I'm trying. We'll have Sven translated into 70 languages.
Well, he might not want to translate that.
Yeah,
Give
given who he
his
works for.
current employer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you had a chance to look at any of the announcements, but
No,
they
actually, no, I didn't.
okay. So
No, I
everything's gonna be interesting. You're gonna hear it for the first time.
oh no, everything. There's a difference between everything being interesting and everything being heard for the first time, right? I think I was at least say everything is being heard for the first time.
Yes.
It
Okay.
does. I got to say though, it does feel funny not going to any conferences. I mean, it's I've already the
You're
only one I've been to is ours.
right.
And beyond that, I have, unless, well, I'm going to be going to at least two because you and I will have paid engagements for that. Well, sort of. I mean, Ralph, given that I'm pretty sure it's about Agent Force, probably not all that much news there. Right. So, on the other hand, what they're doing will be interesting, and I will be taking a very fresh look at it without having any thought. So, there will be first impressions on my part.
Ooh. First impressions. All right, do Rich Little. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, how would you actually do like Rich Little? Who his?
Rich Little doing
That's what I mean.
Nick.
It's Rich Little doing everybody else,
Here's
right?
my impression of Rich Little doing Tricky Dick Nixon.
There's this guy. His name is Graham something. He's a TikTok short reels guy. He does dead on imitations of like not just the Christopher Walken, Owen Wilson, those like, but they're dead on. He does about 10
Hmm.
of them or 12 of them, and he kind of runs them through on TikTok. So I'm watching that show, which should not be called Suits LA, but
Yeah.
it is. It's not a bad show. I mean, I will say that it's at least entertaining. But why they call it Suits, I have no clue. It's got nothing to do with the original show, except they showed a picture of Harvey once. But that guy, that TikTok guy, was on it actually. He
Wow.
was actually he was in the show. And he used his real name. It's like Graham Loudner or something like that. In the show, and he was doing stand up imitations and things like that. Who's that?
I don't know. I don't. I have the sound down, but
I'm
uh,
not.
thought
Do
I'd
you
put
have
it.
the sound? I don't hear anything.
No, that's what I said. I have the sound down, so
okay.
you're not hearing this because this is like the pregame show. So
Yeah,
it's like the NFL Today of TDX. So
right.
he might be Brent Musburger
So they're
playing.
probably going to end up firing everybody. Right. If it's like a pregame show. I mean, ESPN is like a massive, have been a massive, well, all of them really. They all have been like massively transitioning over to other broadcasts.
You know what StreamYard needs to do? They need to be able to allow us to move our logo from this static place to other parts because I don't want to cover up the thing. You know, I like that they have the countdown going. You want to do a check in to see what they're talking about?
Sure.
All right,
Also check and see if its sound works.
all right, here we go.
Going after that, a few can't miss sessions. I mean, they're all can't miss, but these will help you make the most of Agent Force with Slack. We'll discover how Slack serves as your natural conversational interface that unites all of your people, data, and agents.
So cool. I love
So
seeing
going
Agent
over
Force in
the
Slack.
sessions.
It is awesome.
Yep.
Individual
All right.
sessions.
So we've got
All
Parker
right.
Harris coming
Well,
up a
that's
little
nice.
later on the broadcast.
Mute them and we'll keep an eye.
Agent Force and Slack. I mean, I'm increasingly liking what I'm seeing from what Salesforce is doing with Slack. I have to say,
You get old.
How are they not venerable?
Both.
Oh, I know why. You know why? Who was the guy who predates Rich Little, who did imitations?
Impersonations?
Yeah, he did impersonations.
I don't know.
I think there was one who predated Rich Little. Maybe that's. I'm just guessing that's what Alan's talking about.
Alan, let us know who that is if you know who that is. Oh, look who is joining us. He's back. He made it back to his room.
There he is.
Yeah, that was a jog.
Yeah, I looked at it. I was like, nah, this is not really going to work. So,
yeah, I just tried to set up, and then I was like, you know what? This is bad. You're right. I'll just.
Oh, yeah. That tells you it's not going to work there. Right.
Oh, we weren't going to be in that room.
Oh no, we were in the lounge, but even that was
yeah, it was
complicated.
I mean, I'm sure it's shared bandwidth again, and that never works ever.
Right.
By the way, hey, Zeus is with us. It's good to see you.
Hey, Zeus, how you doing, buddy?
You want to hear what Matthew McConaughey is saying, or
not necessarily? I probably watched it.
Not really. No.
I've probably seen it multiple times.
Absolutely. And I've already
if I'm picking celebrities to associate with, he ain't my number one. I go with ServiceNow and Idris Elba.
Yeah, I go with Big.
Yeah, easy choice.
I still like McConaughey.
I do too. I like him, and I think he was great in The Lincoln Lawyer too. Right, yeah. But and I just like he's like Patrick Mahomes. Just like too much of him. Just seeing too much of the man.
But I do like what Salesforce is doing with the commercial by integrating Woody Harrelson in there.
Yeah, I can get into that one too.
Yeah, Alan, that did land kind of flat there, buddy.
Yeah, it certainly did. Good move, Alan.
So, Paul, what are you looking out for?
Well, I just saw what I was looking out for, actually, which was the agent. No, Matthew McConaughey. Right? Oh, no, I was looking. The Agent Force and Slack is. I actually did get some inkling of that earlier. Not today, though. I mean, a week or two ago, a few weeks ago. And I'm curious if that's part of the announcements, and I don't know if it is or not, since I told you I didn't look. If it's part of the announcements, I'll be curious as to how they treat it. I think the thing that's, I don't want to call it, it's not disturbing. That's overstating it by a long shot. The thing that I'm concerned with is Salesforce is just all Agent Force now, and everything else they do is like non-existent, except most of their customers are, regardless of what we're probably going to hear, most of their customers aren't using Agent Force, right? At least not yet. And I kind of don't love that approach of just hyper emphasis on the AI. I get why. I certainly get why, and I get the reshaping of the company. Look, Microsoft did it in a slightly different way, but they reshaped the company around AI a long time ago. But I think Salesforce, I'm a little concerned about their emphasis is so big. All right, keep going.
We're getting started, so I'm going to throw the audio on here real quick, see what we have here.
Just simply, I'll leave it at that. I mean, I don't like the overemphasis too much.
Good morning, TDX 2025. Thank you all for being with us here today. Man, you all look so good. This is awesome. Thank you to the thousands of you that are here with us in the room today and on the event.
Well, that's how I
really
want to
appreciate you being here. Thank you to the thousands of us. There's a camera watching, tens of thousands watching online. Look, we have quite a bit to do today. It's going to be a really, really busy day. I'm going to tell you why. 6 months ago, we launched Agentforce, just kind of right across the street in Moscone South, North. Where's Jacob? North, I think. We launched Agentforce right across the street, and we showed the world what trusted enterprise AI agents could look like in your workforce. And then, believe it or not, just a few months later, across another street, the St. Regis Hotel in December, we launched Agentforce 2.0. Showing what it looks like, kind of unwrapping the Atlas reasoning engine and showing you exactly how Agentforce can reason and think and actually take action. And since then, not a day has gone by, I swear, not a day where I don't wake up.
Have you heard them use the word reason
some new news
before about
a new AI
Agentforce?
model or some sort of new technique or new application?
Reasoning, yeah.
So we'll use it as something that's reasoning. I don't.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes this year's TDX, I think, more important.
I don't think
That's actually a part of the
agentic
agentic piece is that it
has
has reasoning capability.
I have a different version.
An incredible journey where we use all of this new.
Maybe that's my venerableness.
And our job here is to.
And we're going to hire a bunch of agents
show you what
and
it can do and to bring you along on
take a vacation.
And my
another level of thinking.
TDX of this
doesn't mean that's all reasoning, all problem solving is always reasoning.
So let's go ahead and do that. Now, of course.
I wonder, I guess so Mark isn't going to make an appearance.
Thank you to our customers that have been with us on this journey.
Pretty big one
for them. Customers that are here with us today, those that have already started their Agentforce journey. Thank you to all of the builders, our trailblazers, our agent blazers, developers, admins, our community, our architects. Thank you all. Thank you. I guess
he's dressed like a developer would be dressed.
Thank you to all
I think that's the point.
Waking up every day dealing with this pace of innovation and building so that all of us can use it. We really appreciate it. And of course, when we start any journey, we have to start by just reminding ourselves of our values. This is something we always do at Salesforce, right? Our values of trust, customer success, innovation, equality, and sustainability. These are what guide us through everything, and we're going to need it more than ever as we go into this path.
Don't say that.
Bringing AI
exactly why I said
our workforce. We're going to need these values more than ever. Now, when we started this company 25 years ago, I wasn't here, but Mark and Parker were here. They started with a really simple idea. They called it the 1-1-1 model, this idea that we would give back 1% of the company's equity, their time, their product back. And I'm really proud of the impact that this has had globally. But the number on this slide, I've been at Salesforce for 13 years, that always makes me so proud is the 19,000 companies, the 19,000 organizations that have adopted this model as well and come along with us. And it's because of all of you that we're able to do well while doing so good. And it's been an incredible journey for Salesforce. It's because
do they pay the employees for those volunteer hours?
The builders in
meaning you have time to. I always wonder.
Implement Salesforce.
I think they get their salary, don't they?
Yeah. They get. They don't have to take time off. In other words.
Okay.
No vacation.
Yeah, that's
no
what
PTO.
I was. I thought they did, but I couldn't remember.
Talk about something new.
What's up, Jordan?
Hey, Jordan.
I thought about this for a long time, and look, this is a developer conference. So we need to get into the nitty gritty. We need to get into the stuff that developers
who I miss
really
already?
About, that they really care.
Leah or
They
Leah.
really think about every single day they wake up.
He was really good at this.
The next one will be doing this is Monique
And I
somewhere.
realized it's pretty
She
simple.
would be amazing at these things.
Global declining population growth. That was a joke. You can laugh. So look,
85 million jobs.
this is really important. All around the world, countries, their population growth is slowing. Now, as developers, as builders, why should we care about that? Well, if you give me a minute, if you just bear with me for a minute, I'm going to try to tell you why you should care about that.
I'd like to know what
It's
the
actually pretty
85
simple.
million jobs consist of.
Population, people, us, humans.
And
we
why
make
people are getting
companies
laid off
grow.
still, if
It's as
that's
simple as that.
Oh,
And if there are less people,
I know where
That's
some
gonna
of them are
create a
accounted for,
plateau
but
where businesses are going to
Yeah.
struggle to go.
And I'm wondering how many of these
In fact,
jobs.
I like to think about three things that are directly correlated. If we think back hundreds of years, there are kind of three things that are always related to businesses being able to grow. One is people, we just talked about. The other, this is a little bit hard to think about, is real estate. And the third is infrastructure. Now, people we can kind of understand. Let's think about real estate. In order to grow, well, first of all, if we need to hire more people, we need more office space. But we might also need more stores, right? We need to enter new markets, so we need more stores. And infrastructure, well, we need compute, we need storage, we need to build more software. So those three numbers are always going to go up.
Leading to the fact that
If we think
AI
about
can
those
fill
three,
some of these unfulfilled
let's take
jobs.
infrastructure for a moment, right? Our friends at
And all of a sudden,
AWS and Google, they
word
built this
I think that's where he's
incredible
going.
capacity to
I'm
scale
guessing the word
infrastructure.
power
They can now
needs to
scale
come in
the
somewhere.
software and the infrastructure that we need
All
infinitely
right, now,
horizontally.
Power.
We've
What the
kind of
heck
done
is
the same
vibe
thing with
coding,
real estate. It's a little bit hard to think about, but you all have really been responsible for this. Let's think about it. If we want to enter a new market now, 25, 30 years ago, we needed a new office, we needed a new store. Well, today, we just need a new website, we need a new application. So we've kind of figured out how to scale that as well. But the one thing that we haven't truly figured out how to scale yet is the people. And that's where you all come in. What if we could use software?
Interesting.
What if we could use technology to scale human capacity? That is the promise of agentic AI, and it is creating a digital labor revolution. This idea that we have human workforces really exclusively today, they have fixed capacity. You know, the thing about humans, if you're like me, is like you get tired, you get burnt out. There's only so many things you could do. But what if we could pair humans with smart, intelligent AI agents that can actually go out and do work on our behalf, that could work with us, that could partner with us? Well, then we would have unlimited experts, not just the agents, but think about what an AI agent can do for you. It can make you an expert. Our customers, they don't have to wait on hold anymore for another human. They can just get the answers that they need. We could unlock growth. We would have hit all three.
This is
We
a
can
very
scale our
linear
infrastructure. We can
mode
scale
of
our
thinking,
real estate through our web applications and through our digital experiences, but now we can also scale our people. Now, to do this, we need something. We need some technology. And it's really, really easy to think, well, the solution must be a large language model. That's what they're going to tell us here, right? It's like we're going to just use a large language model and it's going to work and it's going to change everything. And look, this is a revolution. This is a revolutionary piece of technology. It's this thing that gives a little piece of software.
All in on large
little.
language
It's actually pretty
models,
big, but it's a piece of software, right, that can understand human language. It can converse with you. It can almost even fool you. So we'll just slap a large language model into it. Well, it's not that simple. You see a large language model.
Yeah, I just read something yesterday, though, that says if you're nice to the AI, it's nicer to you.
We need something much bigger than that.
Huh?
If you think about a large language model,
Golden rule?
I'll try that.
Right?
You should.
I yell at it all the time because it's like the exact answer
and understand computer language, binary zeros and ones.
Yeah, it's just sitting in the background planning on how it's going to sabotage you.
Yeah. Change the world. And today I could put a CPU in the palm of your hand.
Give it a
I
snack.
tried to get one. I thought it would be cool. I could pull one out and have a CPU in my hand, but I'd mess up all the
How
pins.
does this?
But you could put a CPU in
This
the palm of your hands,
increases.
and you know
Look,
what
I
it
can
would
see
do
this
for you?
as
You know what it
supporting
would do for your
humans to
company?
increase their
Nothing.
knowledge and
It
capabilities.
wouldn't do
I get
anything
that, and
because the
supporting
CPU needs
humans
to be part
to
of a
take some
larger
of the
system.
burden
It needs
of
to have a
some of the work
motherboard
off
and
the job. I don't
storage
see
and
how
memory
this scales
and an operating
humans,
system and
which is what he kind of
applications built
said
on top
earlier.
of it and peripherals so human beings can interact with it like a keyboard and a mouse and a computer screen. It needs to be part
Hello,
of the system. A
Sarita.
large language model
Hey,
is exactly the
Sarita.
same. So what kind of system do we need for a large language model? Where there's
Digital
three
labor.
things.
Okay, that's
We like to call this our
Yeah, I
trinity.
mean, I
There's
like
three
the
things that
I
you're gonna
do
need.
too.
First is
counting it
data.
as digital
You've got to get
workforce. I
data
think
to
that
these
makes
large
sense.
language models. You've
I
got to
do
get
too.
your business
I'm
data,
not
right? We've been
100%
talking
sold
about
on the
this for a little
premise of-
while, but it's really important.
Mhm.
These large language models, they've been trained on the internet. They don't know anything about your business. So
I'm
we need
also
a way
always
to
wondering
connect
if
the
they're
data. And not
throwing
just your
they're a lot
structured
of
data, but all of
100%
your
find
unstructured
only
data, your
large
knowledge
language
articles, your
models.
metadata, your
Well,
semantic
that's the
data that
thing.
describes
We
what
got to
that
get
data
past
is in the
just
first
talking
place
about
so that the
LLMs
AI
and get to
can
talking
understand
about
it.
the right size
So that's
model
the
for the
first part
right
of the trinity
task
is your data.
and the right type of
The
model
second
for the
is you
right
need your
task.
app.
And that's, I think some
You
of this
need
is
all
just,
of your
that's what
line of
everybody
business
knows right now is
applications, your industry
LLM,
applications,
but
your
that's really
analytics.
not how
You
you're going
need
to
all of
solve a
your
lot of these
APIs.
problems.
You need to be able to connect all of that so that your
1000% agree with you.
AI can actually take action. And then the next thing you need, of course, is your AI itself, your agents. We need a way for the AI agents to connect to those APIs, but we need a way for it to also connect to all of that data. We need some technical techniques like retrieval augmented data generation. We need things like vector databases. We need the ability to loop and the ability for the AI to actually reason if we want it to come up with good and accurate answers. And these things are not terribly easy to build. They're not terribly easy to bring together yourself. And that's why we've done it.
I would love
we've
to
brought
hear
all of this
what
together
their
on one
definition of
trusted and
reasoning
deeply unified
is in
platform.
this case.
And we've all added all of the trust layer, all of the
I'd say it
security and
aligns
permissions
with
and governance that
reasoning
you need,
models
because
like you're
if
starting to
someone in
see
your
from
organization asks an
OpenAI
AI,
and
asks an
Anthropic
agent a
and
question, you want to
DeepSeek
make
and
sure
all
that
of
the
those.
answer is tailored to
Models
that
that don't need
individual.
your
You don't
input
want
to
to
come
give
up
away
with a
secrets from
different
all of your
answer.
data. So we
Well,
really need to think about how do we
sort of.
apply
It's a
all of
model
that
that can
trust.
take what you give
But
it
if we have
and
one
then
unified
walk
platform as
through in
developers,
a
as builders, look, we're
logical
always a little
way
bit
to
worried
get to
about
some sort of an
vendor
outcome
lock-in and
and
have to
show
do
its work.
everything with one company. And Salesforce
Yeah, I guess
knows
that's
that.
not
And
my
that's why we
definition of
built this
actual
entire
human
platform, this
reasoning
deeply
anyway, I'll
unified
say
platform, to be as
It,
open as possible.
I mean,
You can bring any
it's
LLM. An
modeled,
LLM that
but
works for you
it certainly
may not
doesn't
work
work
for
the
your
same way.
organization. You can bring any LLM. You can bring any system. You can bring any API and hook it up to this new platform. You can bring all of your data, and you don't have to physically move the data. You can use zero copy and connect the data, leveraging the investments that you've already made in data lakes from our friends over at Snowflake and Databricks and others. And of course, you can run this whole platform in any geo that you need. Now, we put this all together. We put this all together into one platform, one trinity of data and apps and AI agents. And we call this platform Agentforce. This is our digital labor platform. It's trusted. It's easy to deploy. It keeps humans in the loop. It eliminates that hold time. This is one deeply unified platform,
Humans
making
are
it easier
secondary
and
to it, but
faster
we're in
than
the loop.
ever
They still
to build these
remember us.
agents.
It's
Did
still
you
So
remember us.
using this
did
platform
you
that are
see the
transforming
announcement
all
from
of their work,
Workday a
their
couple of weeks ago? They've
customer
launched a
workflows, their
workforce
employee
management platform
workflows,
for the digital
and
workforce.
transforming everything with
Oh
agentic
God, and Sarah
capabilities and reasoning.
Franklin
And we
is
call these
haunting us
companies
all.
Agentforce companies. RBC is a great example. This is one of my
Well, they
favorites.
do have an
these wealth
onboarding.
managers.
Yeah,
These folks
Mhm.
wake
that's
up
what
every
I mean.
morning thinking
Yeah,
about
I
how
actually
do I
saw
advance
something
my
that
customers'
basically said
portfolios? How do I
what I
help them
just
manage
said.
risk
Not
and
haunting,
help
but
them find new
it said that
opportunities? That's a hard
Sarah Franklin
job,
got kind of creamed
especially
for
when you have
saying that,
thousands of
and
customers in
now
your book.
people
Well,
are
now
starting to talk
Agentforce is
about
a
it.
partner with those wealth managers. It's helping
Hey,
do
Ben.
all of that work
Hey
for them
Ben,
so that they can call
More
and talk to their customer about
anti-DIY
exactly
business.
what they need to talk about that day.
No, interesting.
Remarkable is an Agentforce company. Remarkable is awesome. I use this every single day. It's these
Yeah,
new
he did call it
paper
Trinity, by
tablets.
the way.
They're awesome because
What?
it strips
They
away
called it
all the
Trinity,
stuff
data
that we usually
app.
have on our
getting
tablets, and it just
getting
focuses
scary.
you
Yep.
on writing
Luckily, I'm
and
Jewish,
reading.
so we don't recognize
Those
the
are
Trinity
good
anyway.
habits, by the way. Writing and reading. I encourage that instead
Duo
of
only.
scrolling. And
That's
Remarkable
right.
does that as well.
They didn't
It's
say
an
holy.
incredible company. These are amazing devices, but
Yeah, but
their
that's
problem
where
is
it's
they're
heading.
growing so fast, and they wanted to keep their customer service just as good without having to grow all of the humans that they have. They wanted to bring Agentforce in to be a partner so they could provide that white glove customer
It
service
is kind of an
experience that they
interesting
need
to hear
while
language
they
like
work growing.
humans, and
How does this all work?
it just feels a
Well, it
little.
sounds pretty sophisticated, and frankly,
It's
it
kind of
is
funny
pretty
to think about it that
sophisticated, but it's
way,
actually
but then
pretty
think
easy
about
to
when's
think about
the
how this all
C-level
works.
agent coming
It
in?
starts with an
Who's
input. Now, we've been
gonna manage
used to
all
seeing
of
those
this at the
inputs as
C-suite?
chat
Remember,
inputs, right?
remember
You
our
come and you talk, and
all-time
you're gonna
history
see
was
that today,
people,
but you're
process,
gonna see much more
technology.
than that. You're
Now
gonna
it's
see inputs
technology
from
with people in the
APIs,
loop.
from events, from things like
Yeah,
change data capture. We're gonna be
and
able to
data. Don't
connect
ever
this thing
forget the
from
data.
Right,
anywhere.
right. People
Then
data.
reasoning,
It's
and I have a little
technology
fancy
data with
graphic there, and
people
it's
in
like
the loop.
trust us. It reasons. There's a little
TDPL.
black
Yeah, it
box.
used
I'm
to
gonna
be
break that
TDPL,
down for
there
you
you
in a
go.
moment.
People first.
Then
Now
there's
it almost
action,
feels
right?
like
We want it to be able to actually go out
people
and
aren't
do
necessarily
things. So
first.
we have our action. We can even enrich that action with Tableau. In other words, we can do the action and then look at the outcome and tell you the
The
outcome that
religion
that's
of
had on your business. And then, of course, there's the outcome itself, which in some cases might be, again, another turn in a chat experience, but it might also be some sort of
I want to
execution
see
in
when they
another
start
system.
to talk about
Now, that
the AI
reasoning there,
agents
how
that are
on
going
earth
to
are we
fix the
thinking?
data, ensure the
Well,
data's
it's
there, find it,
complicated, but it's
do the
not. It's
QA
really
on
just
it
a loop. It's
automatically,
just a
so I
loop.
don't
It
have to
just
worry
loops.
about where
It's
my
the
data
same way a
is and
human
how I
does.
get
When I
it.
ask you a
That's
question,
Kevin
or when I
Nix's
give you a
job,
task,
man.
you don't
That's
just
what his
immediately
company
come up with
actually
an
is
answer. You
trying to
think,
do.
do I understand the
Rocket
question?
Yeah, there are a
Research.
couple
How
that
much
I've looked
data
at
do I need to
that are
understand
trying
this
to work on
question?
that. And
Maybe
you know,
it's something
that's
that
You
I
know what?
capture data,
I'll
I
be
realize I
honest with
need
you.
some other
If
data.
anyone I
You
know
just
could
loop it.
probably do it right,
Atlas
it's
is
going to be
doing the
him. him.
exact same thing. And it's because of that,
because
we're able
QA
to deliver
for
incredibly trusted
AI is
and
what he's
accurate
doing. And
answers.
so
Basically,
Yeah.
the more you think, the better the answer is. Learn how
Rocket
that works,
Surgery,
right?
which is also a great name for a company.
Okay. Now, how are customers getting started?
Does put
we've
an
done
image in your
thousands of
mind anyway.
implementations,
I know.
Not just with our customers, but with ourselves. You'll see
Hey,
this
look at
later
old
today with
Rebecca getting a
Salesforce.com.
shout out
And the
there.
simple way to think about this is the first agent you want to try
Val
to build.
War.
It's really simple. Just an
Yeah,
agent that
how
can
about-
answer
Way to
questions.
go.
Not just any question,
Play
right?
it in
ChatGPT
residence.
can answer any
Oh,
question. What you want is an
PPN
agent that's
talk
actually
show
hooked onto your
host
data
Mike
that can answer
Fawcett
questions
right
about
here.
your business. And guess what? That's not magic. It's not free. What you're going to realize is some of your data, it's a little bit out of date. You're going to have to go back and fix some of that data. You're going to have to update it, clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's why
But
it'd
once
be
you're
great
done,
to have
you're
AI
gonna get
do
this
that.
incredibly
That's what I'm
intelligent
saying.
agent
I mean,
that
you
actually
start to
answers
talk about
questions
this, it
about your
sounds
business, not just
daunting,
for
and
your
I think that
customers,
probably
but also
scares
for
the
your
hell out
employees.
of
The next
companies
step
more
from
than
there is you're
anything
gonna realize
else.
really quickly, it'd be cool if this agent could do something, not just answer questions, but do things. So you're going to want to hook up your APIs. And then the third thing, which we haven't really talked about, but you're going to see it today, is the ability to take action proactively. That's that third stage of your agentic maturity, being able to build an agent that you put inside of your organization that can just take action and go out and start working on your behalf. Now, how do you get there? Well, we need to
Here's
move
the
from
interesting
traditional companies,
words in that
where
one. On
all
your
of our
behalf.
workflows, our employee and our
That's
customer
not
workflows
in the
are
loop.
hard-coded, right, with rigid
That's humans
logic. We
still
need to move
driving
to
it one way or the
systems that
other.
reason and
If
learn,
the
really
agent is told,
agentic
don't
logic,
do
right?
that,
Non-deterministic. We need
theoretically
to move
won't.
from disconnected data systems to truly
Theoretically.
unified data
Yeah.
systems.
Well, the part is,
So how on earth,
if it's
are we gonna
independent
do
of that, we
all
got
of
a different
It's
question.
Yeah,
things that we have a lot
and
to
there,
learn.
I think some of this is trust
That's why we're
language
here today.
to make people feel
Good
more
news is when we
comfortable.
count
The
down
fact of the
to
matter is,
the answer,
autonomous
do all
agents
that,
are
of course,
autonomous,
is
thus
you.
the name.
Right.
Our
So
agent blazers.
they do
You are
take
the ones that are
action
gonna
on your
join us on this
behalf,
journey.
but
You are
it's
the
what they
ones
decide the action
that are
should
going to
be.
help move
Right.
us from these rigid old
Well, they would
world
be
traditional
useless if
software
that's-
companies to these
they
new
just-
I mean,
agentic
absolutely,
software
right? It would.
companies where
Why would I want it if I
everything
had to
is
go
run
make every
authentically,
decision
where we
myself?
have
I'd just
humans
go
and
make every
already
decision
had-
myself.
together.
And
It's
they
like
to
having
do that, we're
had
excited to
WH
launch our
automation
all new
for
Agent
years,
Blazer
which is all
community.
that would
We
be.
are seeking 1
Right.
million Agent
Makes
Blazers
sense.
globally
You
by
get
the
to
end of the
do
world.
this,
do this,
End of the world.
this.
Yeah.
Amazing. See, these jokes write themselves. By the end of the year or end of the world, whichever comes first. It was good. I was feeling
That's
we needed
optimistic.
a moment of levity there. And we're going to talk a lot more about all of this new content.
Somebody say
in the
Skynet.
community today. It's going to be crazy. Okay, now we're about to get into all of the technology and the innovation, but I know what you're already thinking. I know what some of you are thinking because a lot of you have thought this out loud and gone to Twitter and said, hey, Salesforce, this is all awesome. This is great. You keep showing us all of this new technology, but when are you going to let us take it home with us? When are you going to give us this technology so we can play and experiment? And so before we show you all of the technology today, I wanted to just close that gap and announce that Agentforce and Data Cloud are now available in our developer edition.
Yeah, they got a big response.
Which is free. Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
can get it. You
Developers.
can sign up, hit the QR code. You can even go downstairs. You remember when we built agents at Dreamforce and you would build them and then your scratch org would expire like 9 hours later?
10
Well,
gigabytes.
now
I was
you
going
can
to
take
say
it
the
home
data
with you.
space isn't
Much
exactly
better,
that
right?
big.
Yeah, it's enough to say.
No,
Agent,
no, not much at all.
agent, turn on my
And then
coffee
here's
at
the
whatever
important part.
time you
This
deem
thing will never
okay in the
expire
morning.
as long
That's
as you
pretty
use it
much
every
all you
45
can
days.
do
So
with
just
it.
log in every 45
I
days.
could do
Yeah,
like
and
coffee
you'll be
machine.
good.
I could do like
I,
10
And if
minute
that's too hard, just run
4K
an
by
agent to
60
log
frame
in
per
for you
second
every
video, and it'll
45
be over
days,
that.
and that'll work
Right.
as well.
15 minutes.
I'm not
That'd
even
pretty
kidding.
much
That
be
can
over
work.
the limit.
Okay, so we have three
yeah,
things
probably.
we're
A
going to
Well,
large
at least the
language
new one,
model, and you've got 10 gigabytes to play
not
with.
just through chat, but we're going to
at
show you
least
how you
it
can
does
identify
last for
every
45
workflow,
days, so it doesn't
customer
expire in
workflows,
like 30
employee
minutes now.
workflows, you name it. We're going to show you, importantly,
I
how you
I
build
built
these
one
things with
yesterday
confidence. What
afternoon.
does an
It was
agentic
interesting.
development lifecycle look like?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing
And
that
I'm
tomorrow.
really excited.
Yeah,
We
it was
announced this
fun. It
yesterday.
was
You might have seen
interesting.
it. We're going to show
I'm
you
looking
our
forward to
all-new
not doing
agent
it at all.
ecosystem. Okay, so a lot to do.
I
Thank you very
told
much,
them I
Mike.
wanted
Thank
to
you for
build
laughing
one
at
that
my
would keep
jokes and
analysts up to
slip-ups,
date
and
on
I'm
what
excited
companies call their
to announce
products
our
because they keep
EVP
changing the
of
name.
Agentforce, Adam Evans. Adam, over to you, buddy. Cool.
They
Thank
couldn't
you,
figure
man.
out where I'd get the data though.
I know that a couple
All
of
right, TDX.
people have designed
This is my first
AI
TDX now. I
products
thought it was
for
appropriate to open with a
industry
small
analysts. In
confession.
fact,
You
I'm
can
going to be
ask
looking
anyone
at
on my
one
team.
from another
I
industry
am
analyst
a developer at
next
heart.
week.
I'm a builder just
So
like
Interesting.
you.
I don't know if
And
it
so
does
I'm really
that.
excited not about that alone, but also that we have a tremendous amount of new functionality functionality for everyone here to build new agents and do
Trying
much
to see
more.
if I could spot anybody.
First,
I
I want to
literally
talk a
was doing
little
the
bit
same thing.
about software.
There should be in the front
Everything
somewhere a
about
bunch of
software is
analysts, but
how
I
we
haven't seen
build
them yet.
it, how we experience it. And you can think about this idea that we've seen for decades, where we have data and logic and UI. You can call it like a model view controller or a 3-tier architecture. We've had different names for this over time. This is fundamentally changing. Think about data. With structured data, relational databases, CRUD applications, this is where we've been. Now we have new tools, finally, to be able to unlock the tremendous value in unstructured data. And not just in terms of vector databases and being able to query and understand and reason across it, but applying that agentic reasoning technology to also onboard product with data to understand meaning. It's unbelievable. And that also moves into logic. Traditionally, we've been writing code. It's rigid, it's all the conditionals, if this, then that, as you all know. And now we're moving into a new world where we have not just deterministic, but more dynamic reasoning across it that can be instructed with natural language, not with code, and can handle many more permutations of different conditions out of the gate. And that leads me next to UI. And this is probably one of the most fundamental changes that's happening, where we're thinking about, instead of building kind of expensive,
I think this is the
specific
big
UIs
disruption
that
from
kind
an
of these
enterprise
boxes
apps
that we're moving in
perspective,
with
right? If you
clicks,
make the
we're moving into a
change the
world
way we
where
interact
UI
with software,
can be developed
that's
at incredibly low
that's
cost. As
worth
the cost goes to zero, the
tons.
agentic reasoning can
Totally.
build
That's
UIs as
too
you need in the context that you need them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The last two.
Visualizations and
The
more.
first one,
And it's moving from
that's been
things
done in
like
multiple ways
boxes and
already.
clicks,
Yeah, the data, I'm
conversation,
telling you, I think the only
into
way to
voice,
solve
and
that
more
is with
multimodal.
agents. I
But if we
really
think
do
about
think
software,
otherwise
there's
it's just too much of an
agentic reasoning.
investment from a
And
people
as Patrick
resource
mentioned in
standpoint to
December,
solve for
we
most
launched
big
Agent
companies
Force
anyway.
2.0.
I agree.
There was massive leaps forward in terms of the Atlas reasoning engine to be able to reason across things, but also lots of work that we did with data, with better understanding with things like our enriched indexes that let the reasoning of the agents understand much, much more for larger sums of data. It was a true unlock. And I think about a lot of data. I think about 700,000 articles. You heard the story earlier from help.salesforce.com. We have 700,000 articles about every product, every detail from years of information in Salesforce that's now plugged in to Agentforce, answering questions, about 40,000 questions every week on help.salesforce.com. And by the way, it's answering at an 83% resolution rate. And of the time that the Agentforce actually
That's
engages,
impressive.
only 3% of the time does it actually escalate to a live human. It's an incredible operational story, and we see this with all of
But
our
what does that
Agentforce
mean when
customers.
they're saying that? Does that mean
There's only
it
one
gets
thing
answered so
that
the
I think
person
about here,
doesn't
which
proceed
is,
with anything,
can
right?
we do more?
That's what
It's
I'm thinking.
How do we
it's
think about
resolved in
bringing this
some
awesome
way,
technology
but the only thing I
and
wonder is
on
like, is
first
hanging up
contact.
on the
the
customer
chat.
resolved?
How do we move outside?
Well, that's the
of
thing. I mean,
box?
you
How
know,
do we
how
think
many,
about
what percentage,
allowing agents
I'd really like
with
to
the
know what
reasoning
percentage
capacity to
of
create new
first
UI, think
contact
about
in a
applying
call
to large
center or first
non-conversational
contact online
experiences, and
generally
how do we
isn't
give
resolved the
you,
first
the
contact.
developers, more control
Most of mine
over
is,
what your agents
90%
can
of
do
what I
from
do
every
gets resolved
workflow
initially because
in a
I
way
just
that
needed
your
to do
enterprises
something
demand.
or I needed
Right.
to
And we've
test
been really
something.
busy at work. We've
Or
got
how
lots
to
of new
do
features,
something.
Right, that's
and
all.
Yeah.
I mean, it is
today we're
simple.
excited
It'd
to
be
announce
interesting to know
the
that the
next
things that
installment,
ordinarily got
which
to
is
second, third, and
Agentforce
fourth, how
2
much of that gets
DX.
resolved
This is
at first
specifically
contact.
for you, the
That's
developer
an
edition.
interesting stat. This
And this
one
has got
less
tons
so
of
to me.
features here. The ability to have more control over your agent so that enterprise can
Oh, it
count
goes
on it with
GA
features
on my
like variables that
March
allow
25.
deterministic,
I thought it was March
guaranteed
25th. I was like, oh,
logic
it's my
Yeah.
birthday.
to be brought
That's
into your
right.
agent without sacrificing the
Why they were
dynamic
doing it. They
nature
are
of what
releasing it on
agents
your
can do.
birthday.
It allows you to build your
And it'll
agent
be
force
wearing.
In honor of Brent
to
Leary,
move beyond conversation.
We're
to be
releasing
proactive as
it
opposed
on
to
March
reactive,
25th, and it
with
will be
things
wearing
like
a Rams
triggers
jersey.
and bringing it in for
Yeah,
variables
exactly.
to do background work and have deeper reasoning over longer periods of asynchronous tasks.
But the hat will
And
vary.
also,
That's why
it
it's
allows
very-
you with features like surfaces to bring your agents more connected to the interfaces in which we're using them as users, more awareness of what's happening in your mobile application, on your website, to be able to take action on those, not just talk, and be able to create more custom UI and components to bring the experience to the next level. And this is a developer conference, so instead of just telling you about it, I want to show you. And one of the best ways we can do that is through our customers. And I'd like to introduce
I use those
Vivint,
guys.
thank you, an Agentforce company right here that's paving the way. And we're going to
They're
tell you the story of
I
Vivint,
will give them
and then
credit.
we're
They're
going
a
to do some
great
live
company. I
upgrades getting into
dumped
DX and what we can do.
ADT
First,
for
let's
them.
watch a quick video.
Oh, these guys
There's
used to be
no
like
place like
F
home.
and
It's
everything
your
with
family.
Riven.
It's what you
And
protect.
then they
It's all about
changed
peace of mind.
everything, and then
That
all of a sudden they were
feeling
A plus
of,
and
I know I'm
everything.
secure. I know the people I
They
care
were a
about
really
the most
good
are taken
company
care of.
and
It is
insanely
everything.
responsive.
Everything that matters.
Vivint is a leading smart home provider.
On average, we have 14 or 15 individual
I just use the
devices in our
security
customer's home.
Our platform brings all those devices and sensors together in an intelligent way and provides a magical experience for our customers.
Vivint's growing rapidly, and as we grow, we need to make sure every customer gets that tailored experience that uniquely meets their needs. With Agent Force, we're giving our customer service team a digital labor force, helping every customer know we are there for them 24/7.
The AI revolution, this era that we live in, is really the most exciting time I've had in my career.
It became very clear to me that Gen AI could transform our customer experience in a way that we have not seen. We've got to find a way to leverage this. Our bias was towards, hey, let's go and build this. We had to orchestrate all of that data and segment it. We went and built our own RAG. We had to build a platform before we even started getting any value. Agent Force did that heavy lifting right out of the gate. We don't have to move data around. It's native. It's in our platform.
Agent Force allows you to piece together very quickly a set of technology that has taken people well over a year to build out equivalent platforms.
Agent Force is quicker, faster, better. We got business value immediately. Agent Force spoke for itself.
Agent Force has several instructions that we've told it about, and it's going to take some action based on that. And so what it's doing now is it's actually looking at our knowledge articles.
They're
And
doing
it's
a
also
good job
pulling in
with this
specific information about your system and
Yep.
combining that with our CRM data. And it's coming up with, okay, what's the next step that we should take to troubleshoot it?
I just saw this
asking me
morning.
what color the status light is, and that just lets us know what's going on with the system, and I can see that it's white.
If you can see here, it's actually going through this reasoning part where it's saying, it looks like the white light is indicating that the camera has power, but it's probably disconnected from the internet. Could you go to your Wi-Fi connection and try power cycling the router?
What's great is that Agent Force isn't data dumping and overwhelming the customer. It takes care of the customer in a simple, friendly way.
That chatbot just can't do this type of stuff.
We have a tremendous responsibility to our customers. Agent Force allows us to provide a very personal customer experience that's scalable.
This is a technology that is truly revolutionary. That allows us to already do.
Now that's something I want an
I
agent
mean,
for.
look at the business and engineering value that we're getting.
Guard my
out
car.
of just rolling that solution. It's like
Well, I'll tell you what, they make it so easy to arm your
The
devices
investment
in the
Agent
house.
Force is one that
I
pays
arm them
off
from my
now
watch.
and it's going to pay off in the future. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, I've got Simply Safe, and I do the same thing. You know, it's easy to control. It's nice.
Same. Vivint's a real.
So we're going to dive
Me?
in to Vivint, and we're going to make this interactive. And I'd like to thank and welcome our demo advisors, Stefan and Irene, to help us do that. Thank you, guys. And we're going to start off with Vivint's website right here. And this is any customer of Vivint can go experience Agent Force, their Agent Force right now. Bottom right-hand corner, you can start your chat conversation here, and you can ask questions about this. For example, I have an issue with maybe a device disconnecting. Can you help me troubleshoot that? And this is connected and grounded in their data. So their troubleshooting articles, their knowledge about their products. It understands Vivint, and it understands a bit about me as a customer. But it doesn't have all the data. And if we contrast this a bit, if you were to email in or call in to the contact center of Vivint, what does the human rep, what does the customer service rep of Vivint have? Let's flip over to their view of what they see, can understand what's possible. And this is a beautiful view of the service console. You can see in the left-hand side, Martina's household, bringing in lots of information about the customer they're talking to. We've got the devices here that are in that household that they purchased, that they're online and their status. And if we scroll down a bit here, you're also going to see eventing data and all those cameras, the thermostats, all the stuff, these eventing level detailed telemetry data that's coming through Data Cloud. So the human service reps have access to lots of data. They've got their kind of heads-up display to help the customer. They've got all kinds of buttons and actions they can take to help service that customer. And so we asked ourselves, what if we had that same data that the human reps had, we could connect it to Agentforce. What if we took those same actions and same policies that the human reps had, and we connected to Agentforce? What was possible? You got to do this in the right way with the right control. And so let's go ahead and see what's possible right now. So we're going to move over to Agent Builder and that Smart Care agent. This is their agent that's customer facing. We can move into it, and you see the topic at the very bottom, telemetry data. This is now connected to that event level, the device that's emitting what's happening in the health of those sensors. And you can see there's an action there that connects it through Data Cloud. So we're allowing our agent to actually search the data that's coming in from all those devices. Additionally, it's a lot of data, and we might want to analyze it. And AI is pretty good at analyzing data, but having Tableau is also very useful in terms of being able to do deeper analysis and visualizations and more, so we can bring in Tableau directly integrated here. Now, before we try this out, I want to point one thing out. This isn't just general information, right? This is, my household's telemetry. The devices in my household. This is private information. So we want to make sure we can control what the agent can do.
It really was.
And we all know the best way to do this is to go write an instruction and just tell it with really nice words. Pretty please, let's prompt it. Don't send the wrong data to the wrong user. Of course, that's not what we do. Don't do that. That's not great with prompting. We need a more guaranteed way to do this. And so there's a new feature called variables that allow us to start bringing in deterministic logic directly into the reasoning engine. So you have structured information, for example, the user ID or the profile that's happening in the session. And now you can take the structured information, and with a feature called filters, you can create expressions that say, hey, look, if they're logged in, like we've done right here, you can create a filter based off those structured variables and take that filter and apply it to any capacity of the agent. So that telemetry topic that let the agent actually access that customer's data will only be available if they're logged in. That makes sense. There's no way the agent can hallucinate and get access to the data. There's no way that that user could ask really nicely and get the agent to do something that you don't want it to do. So new levels of deterministic control that don't stop the kind of awesome capability of the agent to reason and be dynamic across many contexts, but do control it the way that you want. All right, so let's go ahead and ask a question. Now, as this is thinking, you'll see the selected account. Notice we don't put an account ID in. So how does it know that? Those variables, you can also inject them. So you can save a profile, saving you a lot of time, by the way, as you're doing this. You start from state, it's a great testing harness. You can see we got the response here. Now, as we asked about the Martinez household, what you can see is it doesn't come back with just kind of one event. It's actually looked at multiple bits of telemetry here. And you can see that it's experienced multiple disconnects recently. And the agents actually, this nice visualization from Tableau, decided when it received that data, that's the best way that I should be able to see it. So it's creating a visualization right on the fly for me. How does it do this? Let's jump over and look at kind of the play-by-play, the thought-by-thought reasoning and the actions that happen. And we can start at the top, and you see that it's actually injected who we are again, and it looks up our account. So it understands that we're the Martinez household. And that now allows us to go into Data Cloud and search across all the device information about what is happening at the Martinez household and getting that data back. Now the agent can see those events. You can see that output there, that little bit of JSON. We go into it, and the agent understands now that I need to be able to show this trend or this kind of insight to my user. So it's choosing to have Tableau come in here, and it's looking at this and saying, can you go ahead and create this visualization, this line chart? And what's happening here is quite amazing. You're seeing data with AI and agentic reasoning and UI with the Tableau all connected from just one query that's happening on the fly with no code. And this is something that only a deeply unified platform like Salesforce can make this easy. And it's fantastic. Now, here's a question. Do you think that we can do more? Can we do more with this? What do you think? All right, so one thing that I think about is this is really great, but I had to ask it. I had to say, hey, what's wrong with my house? Is there anything going on that you should know about and it can connect to my data? What would have been really great is if my house could have actually talked to the agent and then brought me into the loop as a consumer only if there's an issue, right? And to do that, we need to have agents be able to work in the background. We need to be able to have them be triggered and work, and the best way to do that is in Flow. Do we have any Flow users here? All right. So for all those that just said yes, you know, this is what
Scream.
flow looks like. It's
Nobody said
always
yes.
nice and clean and simple. I'm actually kidding. Stephanie, can you zoom out? Actually, let's see this. All right. This is what flow typically looks like, right? And so this is, let's just talk about this for a second. This is logic. This is conditions. This is code. And by the way, what are these things doing? These are saying, if it's this device or this event, go do these things. What happens? You know, Vivint's launching new products all the time. New devices, new things. This logic's going to grow. There's maintenance here, right? But instead of putting all this logic and reasoning this way, we can start using agents now to do this. So instead of having conversation in and conversation out for an agent that's talking to us, we can have data in and inputs in and action out, because we can put agents directly into flows now. And so this is now the same flow, but with agentic reasoning as a singular step. And if we click on that, you can see right there the inputs, it looks kind of like a prompt. Any of your flow variables, you've got who's the customer, what's the event, what's happening in the flow. You can actually push this into the agent and allow the reasoning to happen inside of it, which means you don't have to code and describe every single possible path. You can say, hey, here's an event. Let's go look at the telemetry data and see if there's a pattern. You can say, based off of a situation, here are my policies to handle things. Here are your potential actions. Notify the user or don't notify the user. All of those things are possible at the agentic reasoning level. So why don't we go ahead and let's go simulate. Let's run this flow. We'll simulate an event going through, and we've set this up so it's probably at the tipping point for the Martinez household. And you'll notice that when we run it, it isn't something that sends a notification right away, and that's because the agent is looking up the information. It's going back, it's doing research in the telemetry, it's making a decision, and then it decides, there we go, for a push notification that's now bringing agentic reasoning and experience directly into Vivint's beautiful native mobile application as a new surface. And we can open up this message, and the first thing that you see is, this is not a generic notification. You know, something disconnected. This is intelligence. This is action. We're seeing a digest here. You know, hey, hi, Emma. And then you could read down here, our device shows that Wi-Fi has been going in and out over the last week. It's actually looking at telemetry because it was instructed to do that. That's what the agent was told to do. Look at the bigger picture. Is there something more systematic going on? Look at who the customer is. Are they a great customer? What devices they have? Here are your possible courses of action. And you can see that it's not just summarizing kind of what's happening to me as a customer, but it's also giving me a suggestion of what to do next, which is scheduling an appointment. It's looked up the free busy or the available time slots, and it's using our new UI
Vivint and went to the chat
to create an effect
and
that
signed in and asked them,
a field
hey, what technology are you using to run this?
And this is an awesome
right base. That was a little more.
This is a contextual message with action.
I think I had an actual human
all
in this
that coming
case.
together.
And
It's
his
fantastic.
name was
This is a
John
taste
P.
of
Said,
what's
well,
possible.
I'd much I'd like to share that with you. I don't really know. They had it in before we started using it. So they were either
we also can apply all of Agentforce and all of its agentic reasoning,
or this was just a human being on the same chat that they were
every
saying
workflow.
Agentforce.
And if we want to kind of break that
Wait a
down,
couple of minutes,
schedule an
go back
appointment
and
for a
see
field tech to come to my
Well, what
house.
I did is I just told them, well, I do know theoretically. So here's what it is. For anybody ever ask you that again, that's what I told them.
And the answer is, you
I gave
wake up,
Agentforce.
what are you doing? You're thinking about, what is my agenda? What are all my appointments today? Do I have all the parts that I need on my truck? Because I don't want to show up to an appointment without the right things and have to reschedule. Nobody likes that. And also, once I get busy with my day, when I'm going from customer to customer, what am I busy doing? I'm fixing their problems. I'm building relationships. There's a lot happening in the middle of the day once the day starts. So how can we make this more useful and helpful, having an agent force along the way? Well, let's start with that first problem. Waking up, making sure the right parts are on the truck for the day. Okay, so we can go into, now we're into another agent. This is our field service agent. And understand parts and inventory and things like that. We now need to connect to our ERP. So we need to connect to something outside of that. And the best way to do this is with the MuleSoft API catalog. So right here, I can have my agent connected to be able to order parts, understand inventory, and more. And maybe we want the technician to also be able to do analytic queries and visualizations with that Tableau. So let's go ahead and add in some Tableau actions. And then instead of notifying them in that push notification, maybe we want to notify them proactively in Slack instead, where our field techs work, right? So let's go ahead and be able to send a message here. And we'll save this. And let's go, let's actually kind of day of.
He was a
actually,
human
if I
being.
could ask,
I double check.
you want to do a little role play? I'll be the technician, and Stefan, do you want to be my next appointment that I'm coming to?
Absolutely. So I'm a very happy Vivint customer. I know I've got a service appointment today, and I've got a notification right on my Vivint app.
Hello, we're due to arrive at your home within the next 1 hour. Is there a gate code that our technician needs to get to the home?
Yeah, it's 5321.
Got it. Would you like me to send you a link to track your technician?
Yes, please.
By the way, Benjamin, thanks for joining us. Who was the speaker? Well, I forget his name, but
No
he's
problem.
the guy that
I will
they
send you
bought
a link
Relate
to your
IQ from,
technician's
right?
estimated
And then he
time of
came
arrival.
over, then he left, and then he came back last year.
All right.
I can't remember his first name.
We're seeing here.
Does anybody remember that guy's name?
No.
Brand new interaction that's deep within the mobile
I know he came from
applications,
Relate
which is
IQ,
part of what's
and
part
he-
of Surfaces, and also
Yeah.
you're seeing voice,
Came
which is
back.
really incredible, and the ability to have custom UIs with maps.
Hopefully
That's
you'll see
fantastic.
that name.
But you know what's happening right
I'll
now?
look it up on the-
That's the consumer experience for my
We can
next
ask
appointment. What am I
Copilot.
doing as the tech?
Yeah, I was
I'm
going to say,
opening this
just
customer,
ask
right? I'm
ChatGPT
actually
or
busy with another
Claude or
customer,
something,
and
right?
what is happening?
Who's
I
the
have a
guy
team
talking
in.
right now, ChatGPT?
Agent Force is literally one
If it
step
answered
ahead of
that, that
my
would be
next
pretty good.
appointment,
That would be
making sure
awesome.
that they're
Based
home,
on
that
his
they're there, they
sound
have
of his
access
voice.
to it. It's working with me
Yeah.
as a team throughout my day. All right. And now when I'm leaving my appointment, I'm ready to go to that Martinez household. What am I going to do? I'm going to open Slack. All right. With our work item channels, I can see my next appointment as a channel. All the context is there. And my field service agent has beat me to it. It's already got my pre-brief for the appointment. So I can see that I'm due to meet Emma Martinez. A little bit about the customer, that the issue is her smart hub keeps displaying the red light. Looks like it needs to, has an issue. And then a little bit about the customer, that she's been a customer for 5 years. It's giving me kind of a digest of what I need to know to go help that customer. And then ultimately it's also, oh, look, it's choosing to use also a Tableau to show me the telemetry data. So it's able to say, in this case, I've gotten some information, this might be useful to send you the trends of what I've seen for disconnects. And then additionally, there's some actions.
Steve Laughlin.
And you can read here that
Yeah, I was going to say Adam
based
Evans and
off of
Steve
what I've seen
Laughlin are
for
the
One of those guys.
It's making sure that
yeah,
I
they're
have
the founders.
a hub on my truck.
That's from
So I might need to
Perplexity.
replace
I got that
in case
from
you're curious.
Copilot.
smart hub. So it's like you have the parts on your truck that we
I'll look
likely
it up.
think are going to be needed for the service event. And also, of
and they've
course, the
gotta
gate
get
code, as you
pictures.
just saw. Now, this is interactive. I could come back and I could say, hey, what's a smart hub? I'm new here. I'm a new technician. How
Yeah,
do I
this is
install
Adam
it?
Evans.
Have access to all that information as a new employee to help me on board. Or maybe I'm going to say, well,
His
this is an
official
interesting trend,
title
but
is,
it's only for a few days or something. Can you actually give me 3 months or what's been happening or what other devices? Go back to the telemetry data. And much
EVP
more,
GM
and
of
take actions for
Salesforce
me. I'm
AI.
running late. Can you let the customer know? So it is
Does that
literally a
help,
partner.
Benjamin?
Agent Force is your partner as you're doing work. And this isn't just a team.
Did he
It
replace
is one
Clara?
agent
When she left?
and working
Did
with
they?
my
When he,
community.
is that when he
It's
came
all
back?
a multiplayer
I
game.
don't know if there was
To
a
check
direct,
in. We also can
but
have
it's
things like,
like
a sales agent
when he
coming in.
he was
The
coming
access
in
to the
and
same data, the
rising
same
up.
telemetry, the same customer information, the same
Mm.
understanding of what parts are on my
You're
truck,
welcome,
what
Benjamin.
campaigns are we running now. And it can notice, for example, that the Martinez household has a first generation camera. And I happen to have the latest 5th generation smart camera here that I have on my truck. I'm not going to need it for appointment today. And it's authorizing the ability for me to do a free install and give them a promotion while I'm out there. All right. This is the power of Agent Force coming in with more control, better experiences, background working across all the surfaces. It's really any team and any workflow. And we can't wait to see what you build with it. Back to you, Patrick.
How many people are in there, you think?
You know, I gotta say, nobody else
Mhm.
is doing that.
It's hard to tell when they do
Nobody
them
else is
round like
showing
that.
Demos like this. I'm not seeing it. And I think it is this deeply unified platform, our data, our apps, and our agents, all deeply unified that are allowing us to do this. I mean, look at all of this incredible innovation that we just saw. This is why it's not just Vivint, but 4,000 other customers in just a few months that have signed on and are now building these agentic solutions. It's just really awesome. But there is a problem. And that problem is actually Adam. You see, the problem with Adam is he's very confident. And everything that you just saw, Adam built right in production. And that's kind of stupid.
In production.
So we need someone to help sort Adam out. And for that, I'm excited to welcome up Alice Steinglass, who's going to walk us through how to do this professionally. Alice, over to you.
Thank you, Patrick.
funny. What's the word? She's swaggering up.
I'm with you, Patrick. AI is incredible, but we all know it isn't perfect. I was hanging out with my 17-year-old this weekend, and we were playing with the big online models. We're using all these cool new tools. We downloaded Llama and DeepSeek Lite. We fiddled with it in Python. And it turns out AI can make a pretty good new wave song. I thought it sort of sounded like The Cure. My kid had never heard of The Cure or New Wave, so I said, hey, I'm going to do something for you. And I asked a couple of the models if they could make a Gen Z joke that would resonate in his Discord server. Nope. I'll roughly quote.
Yeah, you know, this is a developer
Mom, I would
Yeah, you're not kidding. I'm
single
literally.
one of these.
This conversation is being understood by 100,000 to 1%
You don't need a Gen Z joke in your office.
including about 40% of the
There are
people
some
there.
things where agents are going to accelerate us, and it's going to be amazing. And there are tasks where, honestly, the agents should work with humans who actually can tell jokes. And to figure out which is which, you're going to need tools. So today, we are announcing the life cycle for Agentforce 2DX. It's a mouthful. Basically, we're taking the entire software development lifecycle, and we're going to add capabilities for you to build, test, and deploy agents with the Agentforce lifecycle.
She's
It's
waiting
different.
for applause. She didn't even get
How
it.
do I build
She didn't
natural
get any
language?
applause at
How
all.
do I test
Basically, all of
things
them thinking,
that are
so am I out of a
non-deterministic?
job
How do I
now?
deploy these,
Yeah,
monitor
that's
them,
exactly what
debug
they're
them?
thinking.
We're going to
Literally,
use tools across the life
these are
cycle. You're going to now see
developers.
these hands-on. So we've got Stefan once more here at the demo desk.
Most of them actually
And
write
everything
code.
you're going to see right now is live code.
Still.
Yeah,
Some
most of
it's
them
in
are going to
dev
be
preview,
designing
some of it's in
systems, and
pilot.
the AI is
We
going to
want
write the
to
code.
test this
Yeah.
before we release it, but
Or
everything you see
are
here
they doing
is going
something
to be
else?
released this spring. So let's get started. Should we fire up a Scratch org? That's a great place to experiment. So we're going to start with the beginning of the development cycle, planning and ideation. And we're going to start with a hypothesis. Vivint here has a customer referral program today, and they're wondering, could I use an agent to make that customer referral program better? Would it help drive more adoption of the customer referral program? I don't know. Ryan doesn't know. So we're going to go test it out here. And when I start building with brand new technology, with new capabilities, it's hard to start from scratch. So we've got a bunch of tools to help me get started fast. Here we have a bunch of templates. I can start with an SDR agent. I can create a campaign optimizer agent. But there's no customer referral agent here. So I want to show you something new. I want to show you how we're going to use AI assistance to help you build custom agents fast. When I create an agent with generative AI, it changes how I build. Instead of specifying every detail, I can focus on the what. What are my business requirements? And the AI is going to help me figure out the how. How do I do it? Here, what it's doing is it's taking those business requirements and it's figuring out what are the topics that a customer referral agent should be able to do. And it's going to pull those in here. And Stefan, can you dig in on one of those topics? Great. Inside each of these topics, we have suggested actions that it's going to take. And this is one of my favorite parts. Do you see that calculate referral balance action? That's a flow. You have a lot of flows in your organization today. Some of you have built dozens of flows, hundreds of flows. I know some of you have built thousands of flows and APIs and Apex classes today. And when the AI assistance was helping me get started with this agent, it wasn't starting from scratch. It was taking that business requirement and it was searching through my organization for actions that I had registered as agent actions so that it could find that flow and automatically include it as part of this agent definition. Okay, so let's click next again. And now I can just go ahead and edit or keep the suggested description and instructions for what I want my agent to do. And then I've got to pick the channels. Where's this agent going to work? Stefan, let's have this one work on Slack, web, and email. Okay. Now, we're going to add data. And once again, we're not starting from scratch. We have a lot of data in our organizations. Vivint has pulled in all of this IoT and sensor data. They're streaming in all sorts of data into Data Cloud. Maybe you've connected to your Snowflake instance or Databricks, and you're pulling it in with zero copy. That data's here, and we're going to make it easier. So if you have an unstructured document that you want to pull in as part of creating your agent, like here, I've got a referral program description, basically just a PDF that describes what this program is. I can just include it right here. I can upload it as part of creating my agent. This actually takes a minute to index. So Stefan and I uploaded this one this morning. He's just going to refer to it right here. And then we're going to hit create agent. And that's it. We already have the first step of building done. We already have an agent that we can get hands-on with, that we can try, that we can test, that we can play with. So Stefan is going to ask it a few questions. And while he does that, I want you to pay attention to that middle column right there, because this is how we understand what our agent is doing. And that's going to change too. I don't need to look through log files and error codes to understand why the agent or why the computer in the past was doing what it was doing. The agent's going to explain its reasoning in natural language. It's going to tell me why it picked that topic. And then it's going to go make a plan. And it's going to have some actions, those same actions that you saw before, that it's going to execute. And when it finishes executing those actions, how is it going to display the result to the customer? Again, I don't have to hard code exactly what the padding is and what it should look like. It's going to be able to use reasoning to say, you know, this answer probably best displayed as a movie. So let's just put the movie right there. And you can turn that on today with adaptive responses. These adaptive responses, not just pick a movie, but some of the things that Adam was showing you earlier today, it can pick a form or a catalog, cards that it can rotate through, and it does it across surfaces. So those will show up in WhatsApp, but they'll also show up on the web. And if you want to be more precise, I know some of you do, in Dev Preview, you can build your own Lightning Web component that displays the answer exactly how you want it displayed. So you're not just saying what you want your action to do, you're saying how you want it to look. So you can make that pizza tracker that Adam showed you, and all of this, that Lightning Web component, those flows, those topics, the actions, the instructions, all of it is metadata in your org. Which means we can do all the things we do with metadata. We can version it, we can play with it, we can edit it, and we're doubling down on our tools for metadata. In Scratch orgs and Sandbox orgs, I'd like to introduce you to the new DX Inspector. Here, I can see all of the metadata from my agent, and I can jump in to the builders and the specific metadata for my flow, for my topic, for my prompt, right from here. And some of you use source-driven development today, and you've got a good handle on exactly what's going on with all of the metadata and all of the changes. And some of you are working in your org, and it can be hard to keep track of what are all the changes we made. So here, we also have a change tracker. So we can see exactly. I got some applause here. Yeah, I think that one's, I'm excited about that one. Thank you.
Not much. I didn't hear any.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That was her 17-year-old.
So we can see exactly what Stefan and I have been changing for this agent. And we can also see the changes that AI
I mean, this is, look,
is
as far as
make.
overall
So we
so
saw a little
far,
bit about how we can build as low-code
it's nice
developers.
to see how it,
but I said that this was going to work for low-code and
I'll call
pro-code.
it both advanced
So
and well
Stefan,
thought out, what they're doing
today,
is
we're also announcing the Agentforce module for the Salesforce
and the practical application.
CLI.
It's
There's a lot of words.
I mean, sadly, the Vivint
you
thing was
show us
useful.
how
I mean, very
pro-code
helpful,
developers
actually.
can
But
build
and
agents.
it was a very good
Absolutely. And
demo
of
in that
course, we're
regard.
going to be doing
Again, a
this
company
in
I
VS
know,
Code or
so
Code Builder.
it was even
So
more useful.
we now have an agent as
so I
part of our
didn't.
extensions in
That
the Salesforce
said,
CLI. And it starts out as simply
I'm not
typing
100%
SF
sold
agent
on the
create,
messaging, really.
and then the same way we just created an agent using AI,
keeping
or quick
humans in
template,
the loop
we
is
have
the part
access to
that
create
really
agents right here from the
bugs
command
me
line.
the most.
Now, we've already created ours, so we
That's
actually want to
basically
provide that metadata.
It's
So
like
we're
a
going to go
nice
ahead and
deal. Oh, we're
retrieve
gonna
that
keep you in the
agent
loop,
down
you humans.
from the org that
Right.
we just created.
We'll be doing
But
what we
you've got to keep
do,
in mind,
but
we're not
and
just
we'll
pulling down
keep
the
you
agent. We're
informed
pulling down the references for the
from your
actions.
jail
Okay,
cell.
we're pulling down the topics, the
So
instructions,
so
everything right
I mean,
here
I still
into our CLI.
prefer,
And so what you'll see
if I'm
here
looking at
is
the
we
messaging,
have
even though this
all of
is
that
in
great
developer
information, the
messaging
plugins, the functions
speak.
right here for us.
I still
Now,
prefer
there's
Oracle's
one more thing I
messaging
want to
on
show
this.
you.
You're
and
humans,
it's
you
that we
work.
actually attach a build
Agentic
action
AI
here. We
AI
have an AX
will
class that's
support
already
you
in this
there,
project.
right?
It's not in our
Basically,
Slack
I'm
org, and we can go
oversimplifying, but
ahead
that's the
and
approach. Where this
attach
one
that
is saying,
and run that
no,
deploy
AI
here.
is going to be doing all these other
And so
things,
we're
and
going to
we'll
go ahead
still
and
have
create
humans
that
in the
action.
loop.
Okay,
But
it maps the inputs and outputs
but
from the
there's a
Apex
but
class,
that goes
and
right
it's
after
going
the
to save
word
that
humans
right
in the
here
loop, and
in
that
our
bothers
org
me.
for us.
And also to
Great.
your to
So
your
we
earlier
built
point,
an agent
Mike,
with low code. We built an agent with
the
pro
idea, I
code.
do
Let's
like the
move on
idea of
to the next
a
step
digital
of the software
labor,
development
thinking of
lifecycle.
digital labor. I
We
don't
need to
love the
test
idea
this
of
agent, and it's going to
onboarding
be
and
different.
trying to equate it with
We
human
need to test it in
characteristics.
this
But at the
non-deterministic
same time, I do
So
like the
Stefan, can you
concept,
show us how we would
and
do
the
this in no code?
augmentation side of it I like too.
Absolutely.
But
So it's
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to change the
with a
definition of
test suite
onboarding
that
when
we've
you're talking about
pre-generated
an
here
AI
for the
agent,
demo
but
today that just
I
takes
could
in
see
some
there
inputs and
are
some
things
outputs.
you want it
And we're actually going to
to do,
attach that
have,
to
you're
our
training an AI, you're
whatever,
training
right?
generate
AI.
that
That's what
test.
AI
So
gets
I'm going to go
trained.
ahead and get
That's
it
the same
started
damn
here.
thing.
And we're
Yeah,
going to
Yeah,
onboarding them.
that
it is.
test.
It is.
And
They're not
It's just
learning
easier for us to
previous
think about it in the
Yeah,
terms
it
of
is.
human
So
labor, right?
Not
while it's
I
really.
think
running, I
that's
want to
probably
talk
It's
about
like,
what
okay,
well,
guy, that's the
that
cereal
test case
bar,
right
and
there.
there's milk is
It
in the
doesn't
refrigerator,
look like
right?
a
You
standard
know,
Apex
I
unit test.
not.
We're not taking one input and mapping it to one output. I'm not checking to see if a variable is
I'm
true
gonna have
or
to.
larger than some value. The
Pretty much at
input
2:00,
is
got to
human
go.
language.
This one of
And
the
human language is
lovely
wild.
sides of
People can say
this
anything. So we have
semi-retirement
an
I'm in.
utterance here that's just a natural language.
I have
And
other
the
things to
output,
do too.
again, it's not a variable. I'm specifying an
Lucky
outcome.
you. No,
I'm talking about what
yeah.
do I
No, it
want
is lucky.
the result
I'm
to be.
enjoying. I'm kind
I
of
can't
enjoying
just
it.
test it with one.
I do feel a
We're
little
going to have to
weird
test
not
those
being these
with
places with
thousands
you guys,
of
but
different utterances. And we're going to have to
they
do
get to do
stochastic
this.
testing,
So,
have probabilistic
by the way, your
thresholds for what
presence is
success looks
definitely
like.
missed.
And I want
well,
Yep.
and I do miss the
to work
people.
as part of our CLI, part of
I
the
miss seeing the
test tools,
people
the
in
DevOps
the
processes that I
even
use
in
today.
that
And
environment.
so
I do.
here, we're coming back
There's no question about it. It's a
with
weird
just passes
void,
or
but
fails. If it was fail, we'd say fail here.
but
But it looks like
I'm
we
gonna better
passed.
get used to it, I guess.
Excellent.
Yeah, but one thing you
It's
definitely
not just pro code
missed
developers
is
who need these tools. Low code
Stacy
developers need exactly the
very
same tools. So
memorable
this is Testing Center.
selfie
And here,
from last
because our pro code and low code environments are connected,
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see those same tests that Stefan was running in pro code, and I can run them here. But the low code developers in the room, you want to be able
Plus,
to create your own
honestly, I don't
tests
have a
too.
whole lot I
So
can
here I
really
upload a
comment on
CSV file.
here.
Maybe I
this.
want to scrape
Say, oh,
a bunch
that's
of comments
good.
that we've gotten from our
That's-
bots on the
I
website
don't know
and
what
use
it
those
is
as a
really.
starting point.
I'm not.
Or
It's still
I can
technical.
write my own tests.
Even it's not a
Or,
marketer's
again,
dream
we
here.
have AI assistance.
No,
So,
this is definitely
Stefan, let's
definitely
get the
for
AI to write some tests
Right,
for
and
us.
that's what this is. The developers
It's the
conference.
AI,
That's
so
fair.
we don't have to write 20. We're going to do 2,000 tests. So I'm going to get it to write 2,000 tests for us.
All right,
and let's
gentlemen.
generate those test cases so that we
all
can
right.
use them here in low code.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
I
We've
will.
built
I
our
will
agent.
be commenting
We've
soon. And
tested
for
our
those
agent.
out there, since I believe
Now
Brent,
I
you're
want
going
to
to be
move on
traveling
to the
tomorrow,
next
right?
step in the agent force lifecycle.
Yes.
Let's
There will
deploy
not
this
be a
agent.
CRM
And
Playaz
to do
episode
that, we're going to
tomorrow
head
at
over to
3
DevOps Center.
Just so you
And
know.
here,
Consider
our
this
low code and
being
pro
it.
code developers
This
can
is
work
it.
together, connected
So,
to our
with our
processes, our
co-host,
release
Mike Forsyth.
processes, our
Yeah.
source code.
All right.
We can use it
See
to
you guys.
promote things through
Yeah,
the
see you,
pipeline
Paul.
and make sure we have the right checks and balances in place. So, Stefan, why don't you go ahead and
Yes,
promote this to
we're
the
what,
UAT
about 20,
environment?
30 minutes away?
And
Yeah, I think so.
we
I think it's
start
supposed to be
where
11:30.
we
I
can
think
get
that's
it
right.
into a UAT environment.
think they
we
tried
can do
to
this deployment step
they
in
schedule it for 90
13 minutes
they break
and
early to
32
make us
seconds.
feel better.
That was fast.
Yeah.
That was fast.
Instead of the
And
old days when they would have
also
booked it
fast
from
because we
9:30 to
weren't
10
starting
and
from
gone to
scratch.
1.
Yeah,
We were using
that's a
all the things that were already in the
it's a welcome
environment.
kind of switch.
We were taking advantage of the
It does
data
sort of,
and
you
the
know,
flows that
set the
we'd
stage a
already
little
built
better, I guess.
so that we could get going quickly, because we need to bring it out to more users. It's great that Stefan and I can play with this, but Ryan, I want you to play with it. I want to get it out to our business users. I want more people to get hands-on with it. And then we want to deploy it to more people. Maybe everyone in this room should check it out. And then after everyone in this room has given us some feedback and we can see what's going on, we should deploy it out to everybody online watching us. And as we do this, as we roll it out to more and more users, we need to know what's going on. Is it working? What's working well? What's not? So let's move on to the next phase of our development process. We're going to go into observe. And here we have new tools so that you have visibility into what's going on with your agents. We're going to look at some agents that are already in production here. So we've got some data that we're collecting. And you can see the number of users, we can see the number of sessions, we can see the latency, we can see the quality scores. And once again, there's something new going on.
Yeah.
We've got millions of
I think it
people
does make
saying
it more
millions of
real,
things.
and it's
How do
also
we
different
make
than
sense of
the one, you know, they used to only
So
use
we're
like
using
one
AI to
story and they
automatically
take it to
tag
each
and categorize
now these are
conversation
different
topics that are
stories.
coming
So
in.
that makes you feel
So I
like,
can
oh,
dip
okay,
into a
this is
conversation topic like
being
is
used, you know?
connectivity. And then within the conversation topic, I can see what worked well and what didn't. And when it doesn't, you need to be able to dig in even deeper. And so this is the Conversation Explorer. And here, I can see exactly what happened during this conversation. I can see
that's
exactly what
interesting.
was said turn by turn to the agent. I can look at the quality score. I can look at the latency.
Yeah.
And here, oh yeah,
I
this is
wonder if
great.
it lets you see the
We actually
underlying
clicked on an
reasoning in
action
that
here.
log too,
And when you click on an action,
because that would
it
actually
gives
be
you a
really
trace
useful.
of that action. What actually happened in the system? Where was it going? Where was it spending time turn by turn? These are the tools that we need to be able to debug, to get real visibility into what's happening with our agents. You can see almost everything here. There's one thing I can't see. There's one thing nobody in this room can see.
The customer?
That's right. The email address of the customer. Because I shouldn't be able to see it, because I'm a developer here. Stefan and I should not have access to that. So let's talk for a moment about data governance.
Yeah.
You have seen a lot
Redacted.
of data across this demo. You saw sensor data and home data and customer data. You need control of that data. And you've got control today. You've got your data set up. You've identified the sensitive data. You've identified the PII. You've set up your sharing rules. Maybe you're running Shield. Maybe you're using data mask to mask that data in pre-production environments. But we just added a lot more data. We added a lot of unstructured data. We added all of this conversational data. So we need to add new tools to this step of the development process as well. And that's why today we are announcing new data governance tools for Data Cloud. Here, we can use AI to set up rules and automatically tag and detect sensitive information across structured and unstructured data. Once we've tagged the data, we have fine-grained access controls that allow me to control exactly where, when, and how this data is used. So I can set up policies like masking data in, I don't know, we've got some policies here. We're gonna redact smart lock PIN codes or obfuscate device serial numbers. And as I set up these policies, I'm in control. I can decide, how do I want to mask this data? I can decide when and where. So maybe we shouldn't have access when we're building. Maybe we shouldn't have access when we're testing. Maybe when it reaches production, only some people should have access. My HR department maybe has access. My finance department maybe doesn't. I don't know. It's up to you. So when we go back and look at that chat log, that data masking that you saw there, you're in control of that. So we just saw a quick run through. You're going to see a lot more over the next couple days of how every part of the development lifecycle, building, testing, deploying, observing, all of it is changing. And we are giving you the tools to enable you to do agentic development. So you can build your own agents and you can build your own agentic apps on the platform. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Patrick.
Yeah, that was a good ending to that.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you, Alice. So, I mean,
They do a good job of
cannot
talking
believe
about
how
the
fast
trust
this
piece
is
of
all
it.
moving and how many tools we have at our disposal now. When we first started talking about this, I kind of, there's so many customers were like, I don't know if I can get started yet. I don't know if I can trust it. I don't know how to really control it. I mean, here it is, right? If you're in a regulated industry, if you're in a bank or healthcare, I mean, these are the tools that you need to bring back to your leadership and show them that you can do this really, really safely across any type of workflow. So listen, as we see now, we can, not just build agents, but we can explore all of the metadata. We can take that metadata and promote it. Well, if we can promote it through orgs, what if we could promote it into some sort of marketplace? We'd all be able to share all of our work together. And so for that, I'm excited to welcome, as soon as he fixes his mic, there he is, Christoph, to walk us through how this all comes together in our new agent exchange.
All right. Thank you so much, Patrick. It's really an amazing time to be developers, admins, and architects. I don't know about you, but I think the pace of innovation is just incredible. And to be at the forefront of that innovation, I think that
I know. I was trying to figure that out too.
And everyone online, we have an unfair advantage. And that is a strong partner ecosystem that is built
Probably an agent.
on an open and extensible platform.
Any of the agents.
For example, you can integrate any data with our zero-copy data partners. You can choose the right model for the job with partners like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. And of course, you can extend the platform with pre-built solutions from ISVs. Because as a developer, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I really want to focus on high-value features. And together, with these incredible ISVs and the community, all of you, we built the leading enterprise app ecosystem in the world. Look at these numbers, over 7,000 partners, 9,000 listings, and did you know that 91% of Salesforce customers actually use an application from the App Exchange? That is incredible. And every single time, there was a shift in the industry. These ISVs built new solutions so that you can innovate faster. And now, as we are facing maybe the biggest shift in the industry ever, we are doing it again for AI agents. That's why today we are announcing Agent Exchange, the trusted Agentforce marketplace built into Salesforce. With Agent Exchange, you can deploy Agentforce faster using hundreds of pre-built actions, topics, and templates. You can extend your own agents with partner.
It's like a recruiting platform for the digital workforce.
As you're building your agents. And as a developer, you can package your agents using the Agentforce CLI so that you can then sell it or share it on that marketplace.
Underrated, I think.
That is Agent Exchange. It's incredible. It's available today. And I want to show it to you in a demo.
That they're point this stuff at.
All right, so here we are in the Vivint service.
Well, and the thing is, if you're using other applications and their Salesforce partners, they put agents in there that work already with their application. Think how much faster that'll get you to where you want to be, versus having to go figure out the API and connect everything.
And then send an updated version of their contract to the customer so that they can sign it.
Helps them tremendously.
So let's ask Agentforce to do that.
Very active.
So we're going to write a prompt, create an order, and send contract to customer to sign. So the agent is reasoning over the available actions.
Yeah, definitely.
And okay, so it was able to create the order, but it looks like it was not able to send the contract. Now, why is that? Well, that is simply because that agent doesn't know how to handle an e-signature workflow. So what are we going to do? Well, option one, we could reinvent the wheel and build a brand new e-signature action from scratch for that agent.
You know,
option two, we could use a pre-built action from a trusted agent.
They're going to have to address.
So what do you think?
I need help. Like the individial agent.
Option two. Okay, I think we should go with option two. Let's go with option two. And where are we going to find that trusted solution?
The best way to do that in order to
Agent Exchange, of course. So let's check it out.
The best way.
And there it is. Agent Exchange for the first time ever on stage at an event. Look at everything that you have. It's awesome. You have hundreds of pre-built actions, topic, and templates. It's just incredible.
So
and they're all ready to go. I could install them from here. But guess what?
I guess
it's even better, because coming soon, you will be able to access Agent Exchange directly in Agent Builder as you are building your agent.
Things in there.
So, Stefan, let's go to Agent Builder and check it out. So here, I want to add an action to my agent. So we'll click new. And look, there is a new agent exchange option here.
Really
so let's click
right
that.
in Agentforce. I think that is
boom,
really
here you
cool.
go. This is agent exchange in the flow of work, in the middle
Yeah.
of Agent Builder. Really incredible. Now, remember, we want to find an
How
action
do they
that
recommend
can generate a contract and
which
send it
agents
around
get
to sign?
the
So
agent
let's
build
search
or
for that.
ISP agent exchange get featured
We'll
in that
search,
little box?
and
Gotta be
great.
a prime real estate
DocuSign
spot.
came back as a
Yeah,
recommended
exactly.
solution. So let's check it out. And here I can learn more about that solution. I can even look at the topics and the actions that are available.
Wonder if I could
This
pay to
looks
get my
perfect for what we need.
agent
So let's go ahead and
a
install it.
sponsored position or something.
And easy peasy, just going to take a few seconds here, and I will be able to
Now,
see
how
the
do you
list
left?
of topics that are available and even the list of actions. So let's select all the actions and then add them to the topic. And now we can try again. So we'll ask the agent again to generate a contract for that order and send it to the customer to sign. And again, the agent is reasoning over the available actions. Remember, there are a few more actions because now we installed DocuSign and now it was able to do it. How did it do it? Well, let's take a quick look at the tracer. Here you can see that first it selected the create contract action from DocuSign. Great.
Rollout.
And then the send for e-signature action. That makes sense. And that is really the power of Agent Exchange, extending the capabilities of your agents with powerful actions from partner in the flow of work. That's incredible. But there is one more thing that I want to show you. What if you wanted to create your own agent and then sell it on Agent Exchange? So let's go to VS Code and take a look. So here I'm building an agent, and on the left, you see a ton of metadata for that agent, the metadata for the agent itself, for the actions, flow, Apex, there is a ton here. And now today, I'm excited to share that using the Agentforce CLI, you can package all the metadata related to an agent with just a few simple steps. So let's do it. Let's open the command line. And here I'm going to use a first command to generate a template for the agent. So that should be quick. There you go. And now I'm going to use a second command to actually generate the second generation package. Remember, there is a lot to package here. And so it's doing it. It's going to package everything, and boom, package created. That is all you need to do to package and share your agents inside your company or on Agent Exchange. We can't wait to see what you will build.
That's
Back
really
to you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Bigger than what kind of what I expected. That's really
All right.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, just like App Exchange, it's a great way for partners to get engaged with
we
this.
have our most important part coming up. Now, you may remember about 50 minutes ago, I said that we want 1 million Agent Blazers before the world ends. I have great news. The world has not ended, and I have even greater news, my favorite 3-word phrase in the English language. Here to talk us through our all-new community, Leah McGowan.
All right. There He's closing it.
Yep.
Bringing the energy.
Agent Blazers in the house. My gosh, Josh and I were like watching these demos like this. The innovation is innovating.
It must be the official TDX T-shirt they have.
Amazing things. We're talking about agentic apps. We're talking about managing digital labor. Like, what? Technology continues to evolve. The way we work is continuing to evolve. But the question is, are you? Are you evolving? Are your skills evolving? Now, I don't say that to throw shade or make anybody feel shame. These are questions I have to ask of myself regularly throughout my career, when I started as a mainframe developer and had to evolve into an on-prem developer and evolving into cloud computing multi-tenant developer. And now we're talking about natural language processing development. Like, what? This is amazing. And I am so excited at the opportunity to learn new skills. And here's the thing. I know you all are as well because you email me, you DM me, you tell me when you've learned a new trail or you've gotten a new cert. And I love it because it inspires me to continue to learn too. And as we evolve, we have to learn. Because here's the thing, you all know that the landscape of work is changing. And the reality is,
Yeah, you're right, Alan.
Yep.
Tomorrow's jobs belong to today's
Yep.
learners.
Well, and this is that
Let me say it
piece
again for
that
the folks
plays
online.
to
Camera, y'all
developer
see me?
fear around what's happening. The
Tomorrow's
fact that you've
jobs
democratized this,
belong
anybody can
to
develop
today's
one. What's
learners.
your job going to look
So it's
like?
time to
And
get our
it's
learning
fair,
on.
and it's
And
something
here's
that
the
I'm sure
thing,
is on a
we
lot
want
of
to help
people's minds. So
everybody come along. We don't
that's
want
good.
anybody behind. We're going to bring you all along with us. And we're doing this intentionally. And we've made it easier for you to jumpstart your AI learning journey today with Agent Blazer statuses on Trailhead, the first of its kind, I'll have you know. Yes, you can give it up for that. And just like AI, these statuses have levels. So let's look at the first level. The first level is champion. This is where you're going to build your fundamentals and you're building your building blocks all around, data governance with data cloud, and you're going to build your first agent and you're going to get all of your building blocks.
Well, I get that
Now,
because I
once
built
you've
an
done
agent
that,
yesterday.
you then unlock, that's right, we
I
don't
just
just
wondered.
give it, you got to earn it. You unlock the next level, which is innovator. Now, in innovator, you're going to take all of those I see you. You're going to take all of those building blocks that you've learned in champion and bring them into innovator and actually build. You're going to start looking at use cases and you're going to start setting up and customizing Agentforce for service and sales. It's amazing. But now, you ready for this? I don't know. The way you were answering some of Christoph's questions, I don't know. I don't know if you're ready here. Because then once you unlock innovator, you then go into legend. You got to say it like that. Everybody say it with me. Legend, right? This is heavy. This is serious. You really got to put your elbow grease into this one to earn this. And now listen, all of us are rich enough to pay attention. So pay attention. Here's the thing. You must
That's a great line.
take the Agentforce Specialist certification to earn level 3. That's part of it. So this is some serious leveling up. And I really want to make sure you all understand this is so important that all this technology is going to require us to continue to learn. And we're giving you a chance to not just learn, but earn. Now, learning is great, but you know what's even better? Learning together. And we are creating so many opportunities for folks to come together, whether it's one of our Agentforce world tours or our awesome community conferences. You can get together and get hands-on and really learn together. We are doubling down our investment in this. But what I'm really excited about, I don't know why I'm whispering, but I'm really excited, is that we are taking TDX global. Yes, global. We're going to Tokyo, Bangalore, London. We're going around the world. We're going to bring the learning to you. You are going to get your learning, whether you like it or not. We're bringing it to you. Now, so many ways to learn is building too. And we've had some amazing builders here at TDX take place at a hackathon. And I want to hear more about this hackathon. So, Christoph, if you don't mind coming back up and sharing with the folks about the hackathon, that would be great.
All right. Well, yeah, the hackathon was incredible. We had hundreds of participants, developers, admins, architects. The energy was just incredible. And I know you want to get to the winners.
Yeah.
But before we do, I want to make a quick announcement.
All right, go ahead.
Because I know that all of you online and globally, you are not able to participate. So that's why today we are announcing a virtual Agentforce hackathon. You can sign up today. Here is a short URL. You can all take that URL and sign up today. Oh. All right. And now let's get to the winners.
Yeah.
And I need some friends.
Oh, yeah, we got some friends here. What's
and
happening?
maybe a little drum roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little drum roll. All right. So the winners. Awesome. The winners of the TDX 25 Agentforce Hackathon is Team Agent Halo. Please come on up.
Hey.
pictures.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I'd take that.
Yeah, I'd be smiling too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love virtual confetti.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It is easier to
so
clean
that's
up.
fine. Just a few quick questions. Tell us a little bit about your team, where you come from, and how you came together as a team.
We actually crisscrossed the country. We came together through the Trailblazer community. All of us overlap in the. We're all community group leaders or MVPs, Golden Hoodie winners, and been involved in the ecosystem that way.
Awesome. And what people really want to know,
Yes,
what did you
that's
build?
exactly what I'm talking about.
Our concept
They already
was
have
an
this
agent network.
very active,
Eventually,
very.
everyone's
It's a real
individual
community.
agents
These
at all
folks
Yeah,
aren't.
it is.
organizations are
Yeah.
going to need to talk to one another
Yeah.
across the whole value
Yeah, that's
chain.
powerful.
So we
No
took
question.
ideas that apply to not just things like on-road assistance with IoT devices in your car, looking to contact EMS, your insurance company, your tow truck, a body
That's
shop
actually
all
pretty
at one
cool.
time with
Yeah.
one point of reference, but
Is
even
that guy
things that
that
are
tall?
fun, like a book
He's
podcast.
towering
When you
over.
connect with the author. and
He's
you
very
buy-
tall or they're very short. I'm not
Yeah.
sure which one.
So there's all kinds of applications across different industries.
That sounds really amazing. And one
He must be
quick
very
last
tall.
question.
Everybody
What
is.
were you the
short
most
compared to-
surprised by as you were building
Yeah.
with Agentforce?
I think the most surprising thing we found about building with Agentforce is just how fast things change. I mean, honestly, every time we build something new, there's something new to discover and something new to find about how we can make it do something exciting for us.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again. And Patrick, why don't you take us home?
All right. Congratulations, guys. Enjoy the $100,000. Really appreciate it. Okay. We are all done here today in the Keynote room. Download the app, build your agenda. We have a ton of stuff. Go to True to the Core. Join us at the celebration tonight. And one last thing. First of
Hey,
all,
there's
thank
Charlie.
you. Second of all,
Yeah, I saw Charlie.
please fill out the survey and tell us how we did. We would appreciate it. All right. Good morning, everybody.
All right. Okay, we can let that one go.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so, what do you think? What are your first impressions after that?
Well, I mean, we've seen Agentforce for a little while, and it was pretty thin at first, obviously, but I mean, that's what happens, right? So when you move it along, and then they've added a lot of capabilities, and just yesterday, just doing the interaction with it in a natural language way versus, I'm not a coder. If I wrote code, nobody would want it, and they sure wouldn't pay me for it. But it being able to just talk to and be interactive with the builder, so it catches the things I don't know, and it asks me questions to fill out what it needs to be able to do whatever the tasks are that we've laid out for it. It was a really interesting experience, and I can see how you'll get a lot of citizen developers doing this. I think it's and obviously for the advanced and really complex, then you've got your developers to do that, but just the capability of spinning up these agents to do simple tasks that can really increase your productivity, I think it's pretty cool, I have to admit.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the hands-on consultation like you did, but I'm looking forward to that. But everything, you could tell there's a lot of thought and effort. It pretty much thought. I don't know what they haven't thought of so far. It feels like, but I think when in addition to the platform and all the stuff that they kind of announced, I just think that community and not only the numbers but the cohesiveness, it's a real community of folks, and I think whenever you're able to bring something new and put it in their hands, they're gonna, and then of course they're giving all these incentives, and then what they did, of course, with the agent exchange and how it's integrated into, it stands to be very successul and not take as long for people to really get their hands around it because of all the learning and the community and the way it's integrated into the platform. I think they've done a really great job with all that.
I mean, if you think about it, they're repeating a playbook that's worked well for them in the past, right? I mean, the App Exchange has worked well over time, and then they realized they had skills issues, and so they launched Trailblazer, and that's built into a huge community. And I mean, you've talked to people in that community, and they've made their careers out of the fact that they've gotten those certifications and been able to get jobs that they wouldn't have had any chance of before. So that's great. And if it, as we move into this agentic era, if we can say that, it's just those skills are going to be extremely valuable. And the more complex you need, more complex tasks, the more complex things you want those agents to do, the more you're going to need those, higher level skills. So I think they've set this up really well for, at least as Alan said, an easy entry ramp now, I think is great for what is, something that has a lot of potential, but people have to use it before it's going to you then realize any of that potential, right?
Yeah, and I do think you already talked about. I got a little taste of it. The way that you're actually able to interact with your applications now.
Yeah.
I know right now I think people are able to chat via text, but eventually you're going to be able to hold a conversation with this thing and just in voice. And I think that's the thing, that the barrier that gets completely obliterated is when you're able to just talk in natural language.
Yeah.
And see things happen with your business use cases being transformed into agents, and all you're doing is talking and approving. That brings us a long way from the salesperson not wanting to go to their CRM app because they don't want to input data. They don't want to spend a whole bunch of time doing stuff that they don't see as completely irrelevant to making the sale.
Yeah.
This kind of interface and this kind of opportunity, it takes away that excuse, really.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you think about it too, think about getting up in the morning, opening up your computer and going, okay, email agent, pull up, any critical emails, send all of the spam to the spam folder, delete all the newsletters, and tell the bank, tell my bank agent to check the bank balances and reconcile that with my ERP system. Okay, now I'm going to go do something. I'm going to make breakfast while it does this, right? I mean, that is
you can
really,
see it
really
kind of
game
on
changing.
the horizon now, right? I mean,
yeah.
I think the other part is you want to see what Salesforce is doing and how they integrate it, or at least interact with the other types of enterprise systems that people are using.
Yep.
And there's data there are agents there.
Yeah.
And of course, there's CRM data here and CRM agents. How do you make it easy for your customers to work in these kind of we don't want the silos anymore, folks.
No, and you to be honest, the only way that AI really makes that level of transformation for the business is if you don't have any data silos. You don't have to worry about where the data is and how I get it and what quality is it and how do I move it around and is it secure and is it that those things have to be pushed into the background and become a non-issue, or it won't work. I mean, and that's one of the reasons that they changed from a CDP to Data Cloud. Data Cloud underpins all this, and you can't do any of it without that.
Yeah. All right. So we got more things to go to. So
lunch right now. That's important.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting hungry. So we'll see you sometime down the line. I know you're going to be doing in the hot seat sometime. I don't know if Monday.
I can't remember now. I think Monday, but yeah.
So stay tuned for that. And like Paul said, just consider this your weekly edition of the CRM Playaz, and then we will see you on our usual time, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. So until then, have a great day.
Thanks, Brent. We'll see you.